Her name was Cindy Dewey. She lived 3 or 4 houses down from me, and she was my sister's best friend. She was also older than me. She was 12 and I was 8. So we could put that into whatever decade you would like. And Cindy had everything. She was tall, she was blonde, she had blue eyes, she could walk outside and get tan without ever getting burned or blistered, or even skin cancer to my knowledge. And she also had a mother who would spare no expense on her clothing. And she had all the brands that were popular in the 80s. She had Jordache jeans, Guess jeans, Esprit shirts, Coca-Cola shirts. She had all of that stuff, Treton shoes. And she had a crimping iron. And she had an Atari. And lastly, they had cable. Even with all of these things that Cindy had, what she enjoyed doing the most was making my life a living fucking hell. And she did that for me, and she did that for my best friend Lauren. And Lauren and I were just, we were just kids, and we would play with our My Little Ponies and our Barbies, and we would make elaborate houses for them out of big cardboard moving boxes we would get at the grocery, and we would paint wallpaper in the house, and we would do all of these things for our My Little Ponies and our Barbies to live in. And then what Cindy would do is she would get out her 10-speed bike, stretch her long, slender, tanned leg, perfectly pedicured, over the bike and ride over our houses that we had created for our My Little Ponies and our Barbies. Now, I would say that's bullying. Back then, it was just the 80s. And so she would steal our stuff. She would steal our My Little Ponies, even though they had tire tracks on them from her bike. She'd still steal them, and then write these elaborate ransom notes. So I had to buy the ponies to begin with Hanukkah money, and then I had to then get them out of ransom. And sometimes when I got them back, their hair was cut. And I had just, I just had it. I had it up to here. And I was just, my little 8-year-old self was not happy. And I said, Lauren, we got to do something. So our street was adjacent to some old baseball fields with some dugouts that were pretty much abandoned. And so I said, Lauren, I found us a place. So we went to this abandoned dugout, far away as possible. You could barely even see our neighborhood or our street or anything. And it had a door on it. So I'm thinking, this is great. This is the end all be all. But the door did not have a doorknob. somebody drilled the hole for the doorknob, but the doorknob never made it. So that's all right. Lauren and I are playing with our ponies and stuff, and I hear, Nana, Lauren, where are you? Where are you? And I'm like, fuck. And trust me, I did say fuck back then. And so she's like, where are you? I haven't seen you for a couple days. Where are you? Nana, Nana. And so she goes to the door and she starts like pounding on it. And I said, Lauren, put yourself up against that door. I'm going to come up with something. And she was like, okay. But, still Cindy was, she was older than us. And she was like trying to get in the door. And then Cindy took her 2 fingers, long, perfectly manicured, perfectly tanned, little 12-year-old fingers, and put them through the hole where the doorknob was supposed to be. And then I just said, that's it, folks. I looked on the ground, I picked up a rock, and I pounded as hard as I could on her fingers. And I would have done it again if she hadn't run off. So she runs off, Mommy, 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 Mommy. And Lauren looks at me and she says, you're going to be in trouble. And I said, oh, I know. And I was in trouble. And it became a big ballyhoo. And Cindy's parents and my parents got together and everybody was oh so very concerned. And was Cindy gonna have to go to the emergency room to get some stitches in her hand? Because that was her tennis hand. And would she be able to swim at the country club with stitches in her fingers? And it was just a big discussion. So I had to apologize and be like, Cindy, I'm very sorry. I don't know what got into me. I need to do something about my anger. You didn't deserve any of that. You've been a wonderful friend to me, and I'm very, very sorry, and I will hope that you will forgive me. And so the thing is, though, in the days and weeks that followed, I was walking down South 3rd Street with my head held just a little bit higher. And I had a new confidence at 8 years old that I never had. And I'll tell you one thing, nobody has messed with my Barbies or my Little Ponies since then.